right, good morning, guys. Hope everyone's doing a-okay. I have a big one here that I'm going to talk to you about. It's going to be on the dollar bill. So for those of you that are going to be out doing some hunting today, keep in mind, this is a brand new, relatively brand new discovery, I would say. It's been talked about in small quantities on the Paper Money forum site. And it just so happens that on the live coin Q&A email, we ended up with a submission from an individual that had one of these notes. I'm going to go ahead and flash it here on screen. And this is actually a 2017 A series $1 bill. Now, your eyes are not deceiving you. There is a set of serial numbers that's completely green, as the way it was intended to look and appear like. But the other set of serial numbers on the bottom left is actually black. Yeah. Now, it doesn't look 100% like fully saturated black compared to some of the other overprint that you see on the note. It's a little bit on the lighter side. All right. And there is a reasonable explanation as to why we're seeing this, and it has everything to do with the usage of the brand new equipment that they're using to produce, or print rather, the overprint on all the 1s, 2s, and 5s. This machine is called the LEPE. I call it LEPE, Large Examining and Printing Equipment. This was the piece of equipment that replaced the COPE equipment, COPE, which stands for Currency Overprinting and Processing Equipment System, which only allowed to print 32 up subject sheets, whereas the LEPE, or LEPE, has the ability to produce both 32 subject note printings and 50 subject note sheets. So was it 5 by 10 is what it's oriented as on a sheet. I don't know. It might be a little bit different. But this is a brand new piece of equipment that I'm not going to say brand new. They've been using it for pretty close to 10 years now, but it's still something that is quite new and in its infancy stage of usage. But the new LEPE press is responsible for what you see here with the two different serial number colors. As of right now, this is termed as an error called what is it? An ink well contamination error. Sorry about that. I thought I had all my ducks in a row, but as of right now, this is what this particular error is being referred to as. Now, the black serial numbers isn't completely black. It's the green ink mixed with a little bit of the black ink that is intended for things like the Black District seal and the 4 numbers. As of right now, on the new equipment, the signatures and the series date are not a part of this overprint, where it used to be a part of that. I think in the COPE method. But to kind of give you guys a little bit of information, I think, and it's still being talked about with the new LEPE presses, for the overprint, there's actually 2 different drums that print out all of the information on the right side of the note and then the left side, where beforehand it used to be all one drum. And each drum, I believe, holds a few different wells for their respective ink color, which allows for the printing of the serial numbers to be the respective green. All right. So not perfect by any stretch. Somehow, some way, some of that black ink in well number, or drum number 1, or well number 1 of the district seals, and a couple of the numbers on there, leaked into that green well that was intended for the serial numbers on the left side of the note, and therefore has printed out this pretty significant, very, very noticeable error that you see here. Now, as of right now, there has been minimal sales. I think it's more being sold as an oddity. I believe the last couple examples have sold in that like $40 range for some of these dollar bills. But as of right now, I could conclude, based off of some of the other notes that have popped up, these are only being found on FC block notes. Now, here's another one that was discovered a few months ago, I think back in February. I believe this was a note that was actually on the Paper Money forum site. I don't know. Paula Bloom had posted this one in our chat stream, so I don't know the origin of this particular note. But this was one other such example. As you can see, it's also an FC block, but you're probably asking yourself, what in the world is an FC block? It's really the prefix and suffix letters of the serial number that make up the block, which in this case, it could be a FC, it could be a JL, it could be a an S star. If there's a star node, it would be an S star block, is how it's kind of coined. No pun intended, because we're talking about paper money here. I don't know if the major graders are actually attributing these errors as the LEPE overprint error. They might be. I didn't get into too much, research and digging as far as, if PMG or PCGS currency are currently recognize these as an error. I'm under the impression that in time they will. It's only going to be a matter of time, but these, ladies and gentlemen, are brand new notes. Okay, don't let the 2017 A series fool you, because the series really is just a blanket period for which you had these two serving treasurers and things of Secretary of Treasury and all that stuff. So as soon as these folks are replaced in office, then they're going to go to a brand new, different series. It might even be 2020 series, even though we're in 2022. Normally, there's a period of about somewhere in that 6-year range where the notes will stay in their current series date. Maybe 5 years, 6 years, kind of hard to say, but there is a little bit of overlap. Both the Fort Worth and Washington, D.C. BEP facilities, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, use the LEPE, large examining and printing equipment, at their facilities. So eventually we're going to see them integrate 10s, 20s, and larger bills for the LEPE procedures. There's more information as far as how to kind of tell the difference apart of which notes are printed on the LEPE and which ones are still being printed on the COPE, because they still have the COPE equipment. All right, they're kind of using both equipment types to produce their notes, and they're producing them in pretty healthy numbers. You could always go onto the BEP website and check out the production reports, because they'll tell you how many notes were printed in the month of June, for example, once June is come and gone. And then they'll even specify, I believe, the block and serial number run of these specific denominations that they do run. Now, as of right now, again, this is a brand new error, all stemming from the LEPE press equipment. That much has been determined just by doing the mathematical equations to determine that a specific serial number run is indeed the LEPE ran notes. Now, since this is a relatively new error, I would suggest that if time allows, and even money, because at this point you're just playing with house money when you're looking for these, because you're going to the bank and you're simply asking for X amount of dollars to search through, that this should be high priority because the notes will be in their best condition today than they will be, say, 5 years later on down the road. Let's say these things blow up, in popularity, and collectors will be shelling out a lot more money for these inkwell errors. You could honestly see these things creep up in value to $100 to $200 and a whole lot more for graded, crisp, uncirculated examples, that are going to be like 64, 65 and up in grade. I can imagine that 5 years later on down the road, there's not going to be too many of them because a lot of people either are going to be a little bit blind to these actually existing and therefore not actually searching for them, or it's just going to be too late, by the time people do, climb aboard and try and find these, 3, 4, 5 years later down the road. A lot of them are going to be extremely circulated by then. And all of the more circulated examples aren't going to command nearly the kind of market as kind of like the decent looking notes. Like the second note I showed you guys actually is very nice looking. I don't know if it's like a crisp uncirculated, but I think it might just be the picture as well. The first picture, someone had it on their lap and took the picture, so it was resting on their leg. And but all in all, it's a very interesting kind of note. Again, another thing coming out from the usage of the LEPE press. The first initial error I talked about, actually, which was very recent, probably a month or two ago, where the serial numbers, some of the serial numbers will come up missing, or there might be a mismatch, but there would also be a green rectangular box in place of where a digit would be in the serial number. Again, that's another funny, weird error coming from the LEPE press changeover. So it's whatever that particular printing press equipment. It's crazy. It's crazy just the things that are coming out. Ideally, if you could go to the bank and ask for what they call the BEP bricks, I think they come in $1,000. They're shrink wrapped together. The notes are bundled in increments of $100, and they got the actual BEP strap still on there. You could tell them apart, by the way. But the bricks will also have the label affixed to the side, where it actually tell you what the run range is. So it'd be like a specific block and serial number up to this serial number in that particular brick. Those are going to be kind of like your best ways of searching for like high premium grade examples of some of the notes I've talked to you about. In addition to like low run stars, there's always a chance you could find one or two interspersed in there. But yeah, this is an incredible, sorry, my battery is showing low here, so I don't have too much time. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. We will be talking about this as a group on the live coin Q&A live stream this coming Monday. If you guys haven't joined yet, it's a really great community you could be a part of. If you have coin questions, currency questions, again, we get some of the most unique stuff that otherwise have had no answers and have been attributed as new errors or varieties. And we always point these folks in the right direction because they're our main attributors that actually specialize in these things, and they could get kind of like your name on the map, so to speak. But we will be on Monday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Everybody's invited, and no obligation whatsoever. If you have about an hour and a half of your time, we're actually on there till pretty late. But you guys will discover a whole lot of new things as a result of the show. I always tell folks, if you're brand new, come on down and, engage in conversation. We do get comments that come up in the live stream that we engage with. All right. I'm even there. Paula, Adam Chambers, Shay, Mantic Coins, Shannon, and a few others. Okay. And then we also have special guests that pop in on occasion. So, yeah, pretty interesting find. Go ahead and look for these while they're out there. Again, these are FC block notes. As of right now, there are no other blocks that have this dual colored serial number variant to it. Again, one is a lot darker, if not blackish green, and then the other one is just straight up green, like it's normally supposed to look like. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. A little Saturday morning treasure hunt idea for you. Stay tuned. We'll be doing the Pocket Change Market Report coming up here this afternoon. So you guys look forward to that. And I'll see you guys next time, all right? Keep on hunting, and check me out on TikTok as well. All right, see ya.